to be with you on this Wednesday. Lots of things going on in the world of sports, and certainly it's good for you guys to be around for the ride. Just make sure when you come in tonight, make sure you hit the like button. Certainly as you come in, it really helps our algorithm. Also, anything you want to consider giving to the Black Mountain Unfiltered Network, you can either do it by Cash App or what you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen, or a super chat. Certainly really helps us out. And certainly anything you want to give to us personally, our Cash Apps will also be scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But again, it's good to be with you guys here tonight, and certainly it's good to have again. So what's up with Blood TV? Good to have you here, sir. Good to see you here tonight. And all right, we'll do. No problem. But yeah, like I said, it's good you guys are here, and certainly looking forward to a good show. But what's going on with you, Coach? How are you doing?
What's up, brother Ben? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Just feeling another day, man. Interesting sports week, sports. Memorabilia flying everywhere. So I'm excited about these last couple of weeks of, the final weeks of June. So.
Gotcha. Well, let's get right into it. Certainly I move this up the A block because I know obviously the NBA Finals starts in about 25 minutes. And so certainly I want to make sure that we got our picks in so no one accuses us of having any inside information. Want to certainly get our picks in before we get started today. So let me just bring up the main deck here. And so again, game one starts again tonight. And obviously with San Antonio being a home team, what were your impressions of the closeout game between the Spurs and OKC? It just looked like OKC, they just had too many injuries, too many guys out, and couldn't get any consistent, couldn't get scoring from other people. SGA, I think they were a bit more fair with the whistles this time. I don't think they were allowed him to flop. He didn't have as many free throw appearances that he's had in prior games that people were complaining about, especially in the previous Game 6. But what were your thoughts just overall? Was this more OKC running out of gas, or was just San Antonio just better?
It was a little bit of both. OKC, with the injuries, and then the players that were expected to show up didn't really show up on a consistent basis. So that's always going to hurt you. And you're probably seeing the transition of and just my opinion as early, if it's a healthy career, you're probably looking at the top two players over the next 5 years on each side of the conference. But Wemby, you're probably looking at, if he stays healthy, probably the greatest evolution of a basketball player, over 7 foot. If New York is not in awe, it's going to be a good one. But if they come out in awe, OKC, they'll be back. They'll be back. Mm-hmm. They're going to make some changes, get bigger. They're going to have to get a little size in there. But Shea needed some help. He needed some help, and he ain't have it. He ran out of gas. In San Antonio, they look hungry. In New York, the one thing I'm just excited. New York is hungry too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so as my pick, I'm gonna give you my pick. Right now, I don't have a pick. Game one, I ain't even picking. Game one, I'm just gonna enjoy the game, brother Bennett. I don't know how. Gosh. I mean, if I could say San Antonio 2 in a row. But if New York is playing as the team they were before they was off, they'll be refined because they have players that are looking for redemption. And if San Antonio is on a high like they are with those younger players, then you could see 2-0 going back to New York. New York must win. But right now, tonight, I would say healthy game. Just because New York's been out, I would say San Antonio. A layoff could affect your team and chemistry when you off like that. Especially
gotcha.
If well as they
gotcha. Shout out to our guy Dante in the house tonight. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Doing good. What's going on, fellas?
It's all good. Sounding good too, man. Sounding good. How you? How? First of all, how everything with you? I know you had the daughter graduating or whatnot. Is she at school? What's she doing?
No. She graduated when it was about like Monday because it was on Sunday and they postponed it because of the rain because it's outside. So she graduated last Monday, and just waiting. I'm gonna say she checks into college August 16th. The freshmen move in like a week before because they can get acclimated. So when first day of class, they kind of know what's going on. They kind of get comfortable, already building relationships and building a bond. And so
Gotcha.
with this Panther camp, so yeah, she's just waiting for that and hanging out with her friends and stuff and getting her college list together. She has this big long list of stuff she needs. I'm helping her
Right.
chop it down and be like, hey, you're not gonna need all of that. But I'm telling her like, hey, yes, she just realized, yeah, your mom can't just do your hair. So she's gonna braid your hair before you go off to school, but
Right.
like you're gonna have to figure it out. So you got to get every piece of hair stuff you need. And I was like, no, you gotta get your mom with that. I said, I can tell you what you need, other stuff. I said, I don't do in the hair. It's your
I
mama
went to that
business.
3 times. I went to that 3 times, brother. So yeah, I feel you on that one. I feel your pain. No question about it. No question about it. But we got that guy Shawnee in the house tonight as well. How you doing, sir? Good evening.
What's going on, fellas?
Doing well, doing well, doing well. So again, we're just trying to get our predictions in. So again, 8:30 is when the final starts. So I just want us to get our predictions in before the game. So again, coach is not committing, which is definitely not Gen X. Okay, so I'm like, but I'll put mine in. Listen, I mean, certainly, obviously, with Mitchell, Robinson, the status of his finger. I know he had some surgery on it this week, whatever. So they said he will play. I just don't know how limited he's going to be. Will he be able to handle Wemby? Not sure about that. So I know you're going to have Cat in there as well. But I just think that, from what I've seen from the Spurs team, they're getting a lot of scoring from a lot of different guys. Castle, certainly stuff. He certainly had to share turnovers, but certainly he's a weapon. And I just don't think outside of Brunson, if these guys can score consistently. So I'm going to pick the Spurs in 6 in this series. And, and I think we're, I don't want to go too far of saying, okay, well, it's Wemby's time or whatever, because obviously we thought OKC, as dominant as they looked all year, and you saw they fell apart at the end. I mean, obviously his injuries were a part of that, but I'm sticking with the Spurs in 6. But if the Knicks do pull this off, it's going to be crazy in this area between them win the championship, but got the World Cup coming here soon, so this whole area is just going to be lit if they ever make that happen. But that's my thing. So Dante, your thoughts certainly if you want to get your pick in now, and also any comments that you have about the Game 7 Spurs and OKC.
I'll go right into it. I got the Knicks in 6. I was really impressed about what the Spurs did. The only thing what I will say about it is I know that those young guys have been stepping up, and it's been different night, whether it be Julian Champagnie, whether it was Keldon Johnson coming up with big shots. All different guys that come up at different big times.
Don't forget my guy from Rutgers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, my thing is he is. Everybody wanted to trade Fox after that game 1 and those game 2. I felt like no, you don't trade him, but you eventually will mid-season. I say you transfer off. It's like, hey, he's the starter, and like Fox, we love you, we need you, super 6-man or 7-man, because you did have 6-man a year in Keldon Johnson. So that team is scary. And I know I'm saying,
Coach saying hit the road.
Make sure he gone. He got to go. Dylan Harper has to start. He
do that too much. Because talking about games, I know he has to start. But I say don't get rid of him. You saw how he steadied the pace when they had that. They led almost all of Game 7, but he was the steady hand to keep things going because he's a guy that he can feel it. Like he been tolling away in Sacramento. He was like, man, I got to get my shot to go to the finals. So I respect what they done, but I think I trust Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Karl Anthony Towns a bit more. And it's tough to call him. He's not per se a role player. But Karl Anthony Towns to me is the swing in the series because Wembanyama, we know he's going to kill it on the outside from the 3-point line. But Karl Anthony Towns is one of the best big man shooters. I hated that he said I'm the best big man. I hate it when he said that, but he is a really good guy at the outside, and he's a former number 1 overall pick. That wasn't a bust, but he's not with the Wembanyama. So I won't want to confuse it with that. I think his impact, and I feel like Mr. Robinson, he just has to come in and give him some minutes, rebound and defense. That's what he does. But I feel like those guys, and then they got the Landry Shamet. The Landry Shamet thing. I just don't understand it. I just catches fire. And now I will say the other key of the series, Josh Hart. Are the Spurs going to leave him wide open? And if they do, he'll win you a game, and then another one will be like he was 2 for 12. So that's how it'll swing. But I know the Spurs got all those defenders. I know they got those defenders to throw at Brunson, but he's another guy that we're gonna say it. He's crafty, but he's also he's a bit of a foul baiter, foul drawer. That's going to happen. So let's just get that idea. That's gonna happen. But that's only one of them. It's not all the Knicks. I don't believe do it like the OKC. But and on Game 7, man, nothing but respect for the way you went into Game 7 and you punched the bully and you punched the champ in the mouth and you stayed on top of him and you stayed with it. Like that's what I'm saying. If they do win the series, that's why, because they did it. And it's now we said this before. It's scary if they do win it, but we said that last year, and we haven't had a repeat champ in a while. So I'm really excited. I would say the NBA should be thrilled about this series. The Knicks, I can't wait for Game 3. Knicks fans are crazy. They're excited. They're going. I already saw $3,000 for nosebleed seats. I can't wait for Game 3. I'm ready. I'm excited about tonight, but Game 3 in this series, wonderful.
Gotcha. And before we go on to Shawnee, we got a special guest as always in the building. Well, he's not a guest. He's kind of our team plus one. We got that guy Tommy B, certainly in the building tonight.
Yeah.
Good to have you on, sir. With the nice setup in the back.
That is a little radio.
With your web, yeah, that's right. How you doing tonight, sir?
Good.
That look good, bro.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you tonight. What's going on, Shawnee? So again, what was your thoughts? I guess. Well, first of all, you want to get your pick in, who you think wins this series, and then also if you had any thoughts on Game 7 with OKC.
My pick, I got the Spurs in 5.
Ooh, Sonny got Spurs in 5.
Yeah, I think this is the first team that the Knicks faced all postseason that has any sort of defense. I don't know if I brought it up last week or whatnot.
I think I remember you doing that. I mean, they had a pretty soft run to the finals.
All three of the teams, all three of their teams ranked in the bottom half of the league defensively in the regular season. So that was a longer, thing. So San Antonio and OKC, New York is a good defensive team themselves, but they don't play, themselves. But San Antonio and OKC are at the very top. So the main thing that the Knicks was doing for the most, especially in the Cavs series, was they just picked on Harden. Well, you can't do that with San Antonio. Matter of fact, they got multiple bodies that they can throw at Brunson. Brunson's still going to do his thing, but it's going to be interesting because the Knicks get hot from 3. I think that's their main chance. They just have to get hot from 3. Going to Game 7, yeah, I thought it was funny because I guess because of the way Game 1 went, like, you remember Wemby made that 28-footer and that pushed it to OT, and San Antonio went on to win that game. But Games 1, 2, and I think Fox came back in Game 3, but then Harper was out. But I remember folks was talking about San Antonio is not going to have a chance of beating OKC without Fox and Harper because those are your 2 ball handlers, Well, I bring that point up about OKC. Everybody, now people saying, they don't want to hear about the injuries and whatnot. I mean, OKC did have, from Game 3, Mitchell was out. And I brought it up last week. I say if Williams going to try to play on that hamstring, he won't be coming back. Because it's just every time he touched the court, he re-aggravates it. And even when they had him playing off the bench for 10 minutes, he re-aggravated again. So they basically didn't have Williams since Game 3. So that left all the ball handling responsibilities to SGA. And he was just playing with a bunch of 3-and-D dudes. So only one that I definitely was disappointed about was Chet's play in Game 7. Only 2 shots the entire game. That's worse than Harden, especially when you missing 2 of your 3 ball handlers, so they're going to need you. And he put up 2 shots in the first quarter, and they just disappeared. He didn't do that no more. So, like I said, I believe both OKC and San Antonio was pretty much neck and neck as far as the talent of the team. So, I mean, you got to have your full roster to compete with the other. So you got to bring your A-plus game. If you're going to miss your key players, I mentioned, like, once I saw Mitchell out, I said, this series is over because it's just going to be too high of a hill to climb over San Antonio. So that's why I was slightly going for San Antonio to win after the injuries because I want New York to face a healthy team. If OKC would have won, they would have got hot because they played at home. They would have hit the three-pointers. They would have been a team limping into the finals. Meanwhile, New York, for the most part, is healthy. Mitchell is not relied on scoring. He just relied on for getting rebounds, you know, and in defense. So he's still going to play. But so I was like, okay, San Antonio, you the more healthy of the team. Y'all advance to the finals so we can see 2 healthy teams. Because I felt the same way. Remember when Minnesota played Denver? And I was like, okay, Denver, y'all go play San Antonio because once I saw Anthony Edwards get out and then they lost Dante DiVincenzo, I'm like, okay, they're going to limp into the next one. But then nobody expected Edwards to come back game 1 in the second round. So, but yeah, I thought the game 7 it was good, but yeah, them injuries was OKC it was too much. It just added up too much.
Gotcha. What's good, Tony B? Your thoughts on, I guess, what if you want to put your pick in for the finals, who you got, and then any thoughts that you had on the game 7.
It's a hard one to pick out. I'm leaning towards New York only because there's some grown men over there, and San Antonio, they playing with some youngsters.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm looking, if they go with this, as assuming De'Aaron Fox is not going to be the starter, this is the youngest team to ever reach the finals. Average age is just under 23 years old. It's like 22.9 years of age. So this will be, as you said, they'll be playing some men over there.
When they got Wemby, they got Castle, they got Fox, I tell people this is about to be a headache for us for a minute. Like I already seen it coming. But I think they got bodies to throw at Wemby, and I think we saw part of that series where Wemby got tired. And they got different bodies than what because he was having problems with Hardenstein. You know what I'm saying? Like Hardenstein was he was doing his Dougie on him. So you're gonna have Robinson, do his little bit, and then you're gonna have Cat out there. And them some thick dudes, bro. It's like them, So, I can see them giving them trouble. And they both can guard out, out to the 3 too. So it's not like you got what's our boy from Minnesota, Gobert out there. You just take him out, just shake him up, like they can move their feet a little bit. So, I think it's gonna be a good series. Jalen Brunson had some success against them. I think he gave him a 61 piece or something like that. When Wemby threw the ball in the stands. So it'll be interesting. New York also got some shot makers, so they can expand their defense out some. I think the key is going to be Wemby and see what they do with him and if they can slow him down and stuff. Like I said, he already started showing some signs of fatigue towards the end of that last series. So. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be interesting. I can see the Knicks in like 6. Them Knicks fans, man. I ain't a Knicks fan or a Knicks hater, but man, they fans got the most hilarious fans in the world when they winning, man.
Yes,
all you SMD.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Brother Bennett, you got 2 so far, right? You got Knicks. You got Tommy had Knicks. The other boys, they had the Spurs. I mean,
no, I had the Spurs. I said Spurs in 6. So
6.
Dante had Spurs. I think Dante had Knicks as well.
Tommy, even if Spurs.
I got Knicks, but I think even if they lose, it's a good thing because I think if they lose this, it's only gonna give them an experience and it's gonna be the beginning of a monster.
They're not gonna lose it. San Antonio go win it all. Watch what I'll tell you.
We'll see.
I'm trying to figure out, though, everybody keep talking about the youth of, well, as far as age, the Spurs are younger. Yeah, Spurs is younger, but it's not like the Knicks got a lot of finals experience.
Right, exactly.
Only one is, who? Somebody on their roster. Because Spurs have Harrison Barnes. So on the Knicks side, it's like one player over there that has like finals experience. I forgot.
Don't get me started on Harrison Barnes.
Yeah,
but they don't have
nothing. Even on those Golden State teams back in the day, you do a whole lot.
So, because you remember they were saying the same thing about OKC last year, the youth, and then you saw how they, so.
But again, the injuries. But it said injuries caught up. I don't think it was a matter of youth. I just think they, those injuries just piled up, and they just couldn't get offense from, from a variety of players. It seemed like that Game 7, Spurs were getting shooting from everybody.
SGA was doing everything he could to help get them to win.
Yeah.
They're too small, man.
And they didn't blow the whistle a whole lot. Taking them to the line 16, 17 times. I think certainly after that Game 6, I think there was so much news and outrage about the flopping and changing the rules and all this kind of stuff that I think the refs definitely held their whistles a little bit on that. But before we move on, what do you guys think of? Again, obviously the Knicks are coming off a sweep, and obviously the San Antonio coming off a Game 7. What are your general thoughts on that? Who has the advantage in that situation? The team that's rested, or the team that's just coming off a tough 7-game series? What do you guys think? Is that a factor, or you don't think that's a factor at all?
I think if it's a factor, you'll see it in Game 1. That's it. I mean, and then ultimately once the second half started, it's not going to be a factor no more. I think usually, I mean, the team that's been sitting out the longest, you may see some rust, but I don't think it's that. You ask any NBA player if they rather go through like what the Knicks did so they could heal their players up.
Yeah,
OKC would definitely take that. That probably would have gave Mitchell more time to get hurt. I don't know about Williams. He done. That hamstring, he's gone. I was surprised he got to get surgery on that thing. But Mitchell probably would have been healthy enough. So I will always take rest. And in the end, it's really only one game. Yes, you don't want to lose that one game, but if you just rusted that one game, but you still have your players for the other, 6, that's you got to look at the bigger picture. But I don't think no NBA team
just get one, in San Antonio. That's the series don't start till the road team win. But I think a lot of that stuff is behind the scenes stuff that we as fans don't get a hold to. So I think when you get these teams that get this extra time, we aren't seeing what's going on behind the scenes, how they're dealing with it, how they using that time. So for us, we just see them come out and they're either rusty or they not, but we don't understand what went into that for them to have that performance. So we can only just go off of what we see.
But you do sort of understand it though, because and this is why I say it, because players, they already had the momentum. New York was playing the best basketball as a team that we saw in New York history ever, right? So the players were shooting, everybody making good shots. Sometime a layoff, you're not as energetic to practice. You got to walk through practice, and it might throw off your little shot and stuff, right? So, but the team that's played confident with a confident player. I don't know if y'all watch Wemby, but he's focused, right? So, and he leads his team. So if he could control his emotion and play to NBA, you're probably looking at the greatest player if he stays healthy in the history of the game. He's doing everything y'all couldn't do. Shoot a jump shot, dribble, block shots, shoot free throws, take behind his back, through his leg. Number one defensive player, could be MVP, so I don't know.
People have been able to do it before. He's doing it at his size.
Ain't nobody ever been doing that, what he's doing. Nobody.
Remember, the Knicks did this after round 2, though. Remember they swept Philly and had to wait for Cleveland because they went to a 7-game. So they did this before. But, so I don't I think the only time rest really comes into play is not today's college football playoff. Because they already have to wait a long time before they play. And I think that takes a place as far as rest because it's so long. But all the other sports, I think they fine with the rest. But college football, they almost got to wait already a month before they even play, and that's not even including the teams who got that first round bye.
Yeah. Before we move on, I just wanted to. I was watching some commentary today, and apparently Kevin Garnett has some words for Wemby regarding he was a little bit too emotional giving a game 7 win to save it for the finals or whatever. So I don't know. I thought that was a nothing burger. But did you guys put any weight on that? I just thought he was just throwing shots. I'm like, you were the one. You got the most famous crying after the finals. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So I don't know if that's was worth it, but it's these guys talk about all grown men shit and crying all. I'm like, I mean, come on, guys.
You're the dude that only made the finals once. Like,
Exactly.
and you had to be put on it's not to knock KG. KG is KG, but I mean, you was essentially put on a super team to get to said finals.
Right.
You spent your whole career in Minnesota, I think he went to one Western Conference final and got knocked
went to
out.
one.
Yeah. Yep.
What are you talking about, G? Like, if you did go to the Celtics, you literally wouldn't have seen the finals more than likely. You know what
Well, I
I'm
think
saying?
he went twice, right? He went in 2008 and 2010 because they lost to the Lakers that year in the rematch. So
they did. Yeah, I forget.
Yeah. So
anyway. No, I thought it was Miami. They lost to Miami.
No, Eastern Conference Finals.
No, I'm saying, but they got back to the finals in 2008. They missed it 2009. They went back in 2010. They lost in 7 games to Kobe. Kobe got his 5th. So, but I just thought that was just. I
feel like it's a little too. I feel like I wouldn't want my player to be in that emotional about that part. But again, is he wired a little differently. So I mean, I don't think it affects his play. I don't think him crying in the Western Conference Finals. Like he not gonna come out and drop 35 tonight.
Right,
so I was like, I wasn't tripping. I'm not tripping. Huh?
How old is Wemby?
22.
You baby. Yeah, he don't cry like that. That's
passion.
Yeah. And weren't we talking about the whole year, how it seems like, and we talked about could he be the face of the league? The one thing we've been talking about all year is that how these players don't seem to care about winning, about playing hard. He was emotional after when they play in the All-Star game when the global team, I guess, lost to the U.S. team. He was upset about that. So, I mean, don't we want our players to show some, like they give a hoot about playing in these in any game, not just the finals?
I think it's deeper than just skill. You got to have a personality. Again, I'm not knocking a Wemby. I haven't seen it yet. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I said when y'all asked that last time, I said Ant Edwards, because Ant Edwards is hilarious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now his off the court stuff, may stop that, but that's somebody who you can put in front of a camera and even with Steph, he's a showman. You know what I'm saying? Tim Duncan, as great as he was never the face of the league. The personality wasn't there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where we had these discussions, everybody acts like it's just off of skill. It's not just off of skill. You got
it's a combination of things. And as far as how you market it, because I'm not gonna lie, I got Anthony Edwards has a good signature shoe. I wanted the first one, they sold out. I got the second one, and I was and I'm gonna get the third one because he is doing a good job of he got the Sprite commercial. With Grant Hill, it's like the way they're setting and marketing him up, everything. He in the Impala or the Chevy, riding around throwing out Christmas gifts. It's like, come on, bro! Like they are setting him up for success.
His personality sells itself. It makes it easy.
Yeah.
You literally have to create.
Like, have y'all seen that? What is it? The Starting Five? The Starting Five he was in on Netflix.
Wemby on all the video games next year, 26, 27. He gonna be on all that. He gonna be the global. He gonna be the global ambassador.
Yeah. Speaking of global ambassadors, I got to give up.
As a face of a league. Name the last dude that was born into the face of the league.
It don't matter. The NBA is changing. Wemby will be the star of the league. one of the greatest players ever.
If you name one, it matters. I just named you one of the greatest players
ain't
ever.
Nobody talking about the listen. Ain't nobody talking about the personality of what people gonna judge. He's gonna be the face of the league and the personality.
The face of the league. I'll wait.
The NBA will give it to him, and he'll be a global star.
5 chips.
What? But
why was Tim Duncan not the face of the league? He had 5 chips.
He didn't want to be that man. He didn't want to be.
So you know Wemby do?
Yeah.
He's showing it. He's interviewing. He's showing his
personality. Wemby stopped the cameras and interviews more than Duncan.
But he shows on interviews. He's on the interview. He's gonna be the lead. Watch it. He's gonna be on all your video games when y'all go back.
They'll try. I don't. Yeah, and again, plus being a foreign born player, I mean that's gonna be tough. And he's kind of like Aaron Rodgers. He likes to kind of go off to his retreat and do his thing, you know. But I like seeing the emotion though. I like seeing a guy who really cares about winning, and clearly, you know, his relationship with his teammates and everything. It's like, yeah, we did this. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, I would want more. I want to see more of that than less. But when you talk about marketing, yeah, but you talk about marketing. Shout out to Steph Curry. I think he's showing like a 10-year, $400 million deal with a Chinese company.
They're saying $1.19 billion.
That is ridiculous, man. So, because you know he's stepping off the stage in a couple years, and he's still going to have money coming in after. So
I told him, I said, boy, first of all, Li Ning has one of the best performance shoes you can get. Again, because we're dumb Americans, we think everything over here is the best. They have one of the best performance shoes that you can buy in basketball, number one. And number two, like I told my homeboy, that Chinese money is different.
Yeah.
It's different.
So let me ask you this, Tommy. Were you buying do you guys, what was that store that oh gosh, I'm having a brain freeze. They were selling them $15 shoes. A man who went and played in the NBA, went to China. Marbury, the Marbury, the Starbury, right?
Yeah.
Is that
like Barry and something?
No, so again,
Dave and Barry's or something like that. Yeah, I think that was the storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Dave and Barry.
With the Starberries, I don't know if the quality was there. You know, and I'm not saying it wasn't. I don't know if it was there. What I'm telling you right now is, so I got a guy that I buy my shoes from. It's a black dude. I don't know if you go on Instagram, he's Saya, S-I-A, somewhere in America. Black dude, he out of the Bay. He's from New York, but he lives in the Bay. But he actually makes his own shoes. I stopped by and I literally only buy his shoes for the most part now.
Right.
Goes to China twice a year into the actual factories.
Yeah.
Literally one of the best performance shoes you can buy right now. Straight out the man mouth. You know what I'm saying? So,
and was it like half the cost of what you would pay here, or is it comparable? Like what were you talking about, like on average?
I don't think they're like that. I don't think those are just little cheap shoes that you buy. Like it's not gonna be like a Starbury or a Shaq. Like they're
you got a pair right now. Show us a pair. What it look like?
Who?
Do you have a pair of the shoes? You see?
I don't who.
No, you got you said
you just want to see the shoe.
I just want to see the shoe.
Oh, you talking about the guy that talking about his shoe?
Yeah, the shoe you said the guy made. I just wanted to say
I go get a pair. No, what I'm saying is he went over to he's not Li Ning. He got his own thing. But I go get a pair.
Yeah,
gotcha. All right, before we get to the NFL, I want to stay within the basketball space. So obviously there was a situation happened in WNBA a few days ago. So you had Caitlin Clark kind of got into it with her coach on the bench and basically got pulled, so that they're kind of having a tussle, like a disagreement, and they're arguing. And then I think the coach, you're going to see in a second here. You really can't hear any audio of what they're saying, but she basically gets taken out of the game. Coach just kind of pulls her. And so people are, starting to ask, is, obviously Caitlin Clark is no question. I think the league attendance doubled since she's been in the league, as far as the marketing and everything. But the question I'm having right now is, if I can bring my screen back up. When I was chatting it up with the guys, I was asking this question. Is Caitlin Clark going to be the Anna Kournikova of the WNBA? Now, Anna Kournikova Just her career. She got to some semis. I don't even think she got to a final or whatnot, but she was basically the face of tennis for a number of years. She made more money from the endorsement deals and everything than Serena and Venus did. And so, obviously look at Caitlin Clark's numbers. Again, good numbers, not the great. I mean, I think certainly when she was coming out, certainly, she was known for three-point shooting. If you look at her three-point percentage since she's been in the league, 32.9%. So I think she's a good player. Yeah, I would even say a very good player. But is she really worth the hype? Or is she even going to be in contention to win any finals or championships in the future? Or is she just going to be a marketing arm of the WNBA? Because no question, we saw those numbers. Attendance doubled in some areas, some arenas when she came into the league. So is she going to be that kind of person in the league, or does she have a legitimate chance to be one of the top players in the league? Because I don't know if will you rank her top 5, top 10, or even below that. But what's your thoughts on her? Is she, what space is she going to occupy? Certainly in the league. So, Coach, I'll start with you, and we'll just go down the line.
This is an interesting case right here, right? So she's one of the females that sort of stand against the others, but it was in collective bargaining. Her impact on the game is, you see what it is. People show it, but it seemed like, I hope this is not a case of pushing her out. I don't know if y'all remember the show I said, if she stays in the league 5 years, if they don't push her out. Now here we are with controversy early in her third year. When she's healthy, she's clearly one of the best players in the league. But when you start having incidents like this, remember, Draymond did it last season, right? Similar thing, right? So now here she is, a controversy early, and she's not a loudmouth player. She plays the game of basketball. So to see this is just alarming to me, because if I would say if it happens and you see another incident, then it's like they'll be done used her to get their collective bargaining. And if they push her out of the league, the NBA will probably phase out, because she was clearly part of the negotiations and getting the historical contracts. But they need her in the league just because of her name. She can sit on the bench, but she's clearly one of the best young players. They just have to leave her alone because it don't look good.
Mm-hmm. Dante, your thoughts?
She's got to improve. I mean, my thing is, like, you go and look at her. You said the numbers, the efficiency isn't there. And I'm going to say some people it's been whispered about her efficiency from different people. But I would say, depending on who it is, will it be listened to? Because, you're supposed to be this 3-point sharpshooter. I need you at least around 37, 38%. I ain't saying you got to have 40, because we know you're going to have a lot of high volume. The 8 assists is good, but like the numbers aren't efficient. And then, I mean, she was getting attacked defensively. So your team has, if you have a player that is a liability on defense, but they are a star player offensively, you got to give them some help, but she got to get some effort. And the league is going to keep her around, but like we ain't trying to just give her a spot to have her a spot, because it's like, hey, you popular. Eventually, that will phase out. So I just like she's at a part where she's got to face some adversity, fight through it. I mean, my thing is, hey man, I know they don't want to trade her, but she got to learn how to deal better with her teammates. I heard whispers of, she thinks she's bigger than this and that and all that kind of stuff. But hey, man, I think it'll work itself out. Just got to give it some time. But what you got to realize is, Coach Bird, is this. You keep saying that she the face, she the this. It's great players in the league now that are historically great as far as the WNBA is concerned. And there's one coming that, had an injury, and she's coming back. And so it's just like that's one that already has a Nike deal. I cannot wait to see her play. And it's just like, just wait. The women's game is coming. It's coming. Paige is doing her thing down with the Dallas Wings. It's coming. And I want to say, I think it's gonna set up like that. The league should. I think the Connecticut is bad. I think they're gonna end up with the first pick, and then they're gonna move to Houston. They're going to Houston to get that top pick, and it's gonna be crazy. Just wait.
Gotcha. Shawnee.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark, she is one of the better players in the league. Her name got squashed a little bit last year because she had the injuries. Because she started off hot, and then she got injured, and she was gone for the rest of the season. So on the court, skill-wise, she's legit, but she has a fiery temper per se on the court when it comes to the ref, as you see, at times with her coaches, because I think she even went back and forth with the assistant coach at one time. So she's fiery on the court. Will it put her in a bad light? No. Simple fact, because Caitlin Clark has a huge following in W. That's the main reason why these stadiums are packed when they play. Just here in DFW, they play their games here in UTA, University of Texas Arlington. When they play Indiana, they go to AAC where the Mavs play. So she clearly draws a crowd, and it's almost like a cult crowd now that's following her. And two, because it's gonna be speaking of real, because she's a woman.
Sonny,
they're not gonna treat her.
Just cult. It's MAGA. It's a lot of MAGA. If you look at her, that's why it's so annoying. That's the quiet part.
Yeah, she's in that heartland. But they're not going to treat her like she could. Like I say, she could be fiery on the court, but they're not going to treat her like Draymond, because they don't like to. You don't really. I mean, it's still basketball, and people don't like to go after women as hard as they do men when it comes to that. So she's still a good player. You may see something about her in the news, then it'll go away. And it's only the people who's really trying to highlight that's really going to make it stick. But the majority of the media and whatnot, they're not going to always bring it up. So, I mean, it is what it is with her. Like I say, her talent is going to overshadow, because she did her, and remember, they was number one pick for a reason when they picked her up, but now they flipped it, so they are like a playoff contending team,
right?
But yeah, I don't think it's going to be no backlash. One, her following is too big, and just two, if you compare her to like her counterparts in the NBA, they just
is she even the best player on her team
right now? I think so. Yeah. Okay. I think Aaliyah Boston is starting to show, because they had back-to-back number one picks. Aaliyah Boston was one, and they turned around and got Clark. So they had two different spots, Clark, but they both do their thing. Aaliyah Boston definitely had her time to shine last year when Clark was hurt. Like I say, Clark was hot last year. She started off the league hot, and then she got injured, and then people didn't see her again until 2026. But yeah, they well, I think right now she's the fourth leading scorer, coach, in the WNBA. I think she's the fourth. She's first in assists.
Right.
She was spread that ball around.
Yeah.
So, like I say,
she also has five. She has almost 5.5 turnovers a game, also.
Yeah, I think because the ball is in her hands all the time. So I think if you look at the ball in her hand, point guard's hands like that, that's just going to be expected. That's why the ones who have the ball in their hand, like in the NBA, and who don't, like Chris Paul and whatnot, and they don't get the turnover, that's why they are praised so much as they are. That's a very hard, feat to do. You're going to have the ball in your hands, yeah, your turnovers might be higher because you control everything. So,
gotcha. Tommy, your thoughts on Caitlin, and I'm not arguing. The argument is not, is she a face of the WNBA, or that she's popular, or that when that next contract comes around that she's going to be paid. But as far as, can she be a difference maker in terms of the team winning a championship? Is she going to be known for winning, or she's going to be more so a marketing arm? That's why I brought up the Anna Kournikova comparison, because, again, didn't win a whole lot, but was very marketable. People tuned in to watch her because she was also very attractive. Now, again, to each his own in terms of I don't think Caitlin Clark is, raving beauty or anything like that, but, but certainly people do tune in to watch her. But is that all she's going to be, or will she have an opportunity to be known for as much for her game as much as it was for just the marketing or who she draws to watch her play?
I don't think she's the Anna Kournikova, because Anna Kournikova made all of that money because she was literally a model outside of tennis. Like, she was a top model, and anybody that knows how much models make, they get a bag. So that's why she made so much more than Serena, and it was because she was a model. But I don't know. I find it hilarious that you say she the face of the league, Coach Ferg, and you got Aja Wilson, who is literally a generational talent right now in the league, doing nothing but winning chips. But you can understand, and I get why Caitlin is Caitlin, because, you know, Dante, you kind of took it out of my mouth. The white folks, period, point blank. It's literally nothing else. So, well, again, and what counts here, Americans. So going back to
her, she draws attendance is the only thing I'll be referring to. Her attendance.
No, absolutely. No. I know exactly what you're saying. What I'm saying is kind of piggybacking off of the Wemby thing is the relatability as well. These white folks can relate to her more than they can relate to Aja Wilson. Wemby 7'4". It's hard for regular people to connect to somebody that's 7'4". The only reason why Shaq was able to do the things that Shaq did is why? We can all say it together. Personality.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. It's a reason why no big men ever sold shoes. But to get back to Caitlin Clark, and shout out to, you know, Dante. Make next time say her name. Juju is coming.
Oh, my bad, Juju. My bad. It was coming. It was coming, and I was like, I love her.
But no, I think Caitlin is what do you call it? Like polarizing. So I think you got a set of people that can't wait to hate on her, and I think you got a set of people where she can't do no wrong, and I think she's just kind of dealing with that right now. It is word going around that she might be not so good teammate or whatever. I don't know how true it is, because again, with somebody like that, when they're so polarizing, you don't know what to believe, because the people that's gonna hate gonna come up with any kind of, you know, story they can to you know, shit on her, and the people that love her, you know, her shit don't stink. So it's a hard one to decipher, just because of the fact that she's so polarizing. You don't know where to get the truth from. You don't know if she's the greatest teammate in the world because these people just love her so much, or she's the worst teammate in the world because these people just hate her. She's definitely not a scrub. You know what I'm saying? I think the physicality in the WNBA gets to her a little bit more than it did in college. I'm glad they stopped crying about it as if she's the first woman to get hit in the WNBA, as if, you know, like that was kind of getting annoying. Yeah. But I think she'll be fine. I with her being the fourth, you know, scorer in the NBA, you're not about to run her out the league. She always gonna have a spot if you want to win. Defense definitely needs to be improved, because she is definitely a orange cone out there. So that's something she definitely needs to work on. But yeah, I think offensively she is. I mean, I think the disappointment comes in is because she's not doing what she was doing in college, and everybody.
Yeah, that 3-point shot, she was hitting them from like 30. I mean, she was really,
like, you know, I don't know if that was Shani Dante, where they says, you know, we don't expect her to, you know, average 40, and I'm like, well, they calling her the female Steph Curry. Steph Curry career-wise is 42, and I think we would call him a high-volume 3-point shooter. And he's going against NBA talent. You talking 7-footers, you know, 6'5", 6'8", you know, on a regular that's guarding him, and he's.
I said that. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So, and mind you, that's not like something like, oh, you know, this started when he started lifting weight. Nah, he was hitting that early in his career. You know, that's just what it was. So, but no, I think she'll be fine. Like I said, it's just she's so polarizing. Again, I don't say she's the Anna, because Anna wasn't a scrub, but she wasn't as talented as the attention that she received. I think Caitlin is talented for the attention she receives. I think she just gets an extra boost because she kind of has the Larry Bird effect. Anna was more, she was fine. And, you know, that's kind of the opposite effect. Is either one, you could be the great white hope, or you could be a fine white girl in a short skirt and white guys want to watch you moan when you fall. So
yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think she occupies that the space. Like I said, I think I would put her like a very good player. But again, the turnovers, the shooting percentage and whatnot, I think a lot of that has to improve. And just her attitude, So
again, she's top 5 in scoring. So
right.
I agree with you with the turnovers, absolutely. But at the same time, it's like if you're gonna say a top 5 scorer in the WNBA is just good, then that means everything from 5 back.
Now, I hear you. But I think they're 8 or 9 games in, so we'll see how that averages out towards the end of the season. Her career scoring average so far is 18.7 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, 8.5 assists. So, I mean, she's certainly, again, I would put her in the very good, but I wouldn't put her as far as amongst the best in the game. At least, not at this point.
The funny part, Mr. Bennett, is like going back to her and Angel Reese, it's like everybody is scraping to give her credit, and everybody's scraping to not give Angel her credit.
That's right.
That makes no sense. They gave Angel all the credit. Angel had all the credit. She was the face of her team. Her team got rid of her. Her teammates got rid of her.
She just became the fastest WNBA player to get 900 rebounds, 900 points.
That's what I'm saying. Her team didn't want her there. She was making the face.
That was a bad organization over there.
Yeah, she was getting that rebound.
See, I don't know the most about the W, so I follow content creators, and they be like, "Oh man, Chicago is terrible." I mean, they had that year with her, and then they fired Teaspoon as the coach, and I was just like, "Oh,
But that's my point. Again, why are we getting this perspective, Coach Ferg? Because this is what they put out about.
Yeah.
But the team did it. That's what I'm saying.
You don't know nothing about the team doing crap.
Yeah, but how you can't say that, man? I talk to people in Chicago. I have connections in Chicago. I'm talking about as what she was. It got out. It got out. It got out of the locker room. Whatever they had going on. I didn't say nothing about the organization.
No, I'm asking you what they say about the organization.
It's the same as any other WNBA organization. She could have been the face of the league. She was
a trash organization.
They just won a championship. What are we talking about? 2 years. They just have won a championship. What are we talking about? They was a championship.
They won that shit. They won that shit, but it's like that was a few years ago.
That was a year and a half. That was 2 years before injuries got there. Then she coming there to be the face. Then they drafted the other girl out of South Carolina. I'm telling you, it just became a mess. People wasn't giving her the credit, talking about all she can do is rebound. Dennis Rodman, all he can do is rebound. It was the same style. She didn't have no style, but it's like they pushed her to Atlanta. Now she wearing makeup. It's like it had nothing to do with her game. She was one of the best rebounders in the league.
When has she not been wearing makeup? She literally called herself
not in the game. Who wears makeup in the game, man? It's crazy.
I mean, we're men, of course.
That makes no. Women ain't never in the game. No.
Women ain't never wore makeup in the game. All right.
No basketball game. No.
Let's move over here. We spent quite a bit of time in this block. But let's move over to the NFL. Since people are saying we're talking about women's basketball, but in any event, big news. Obviously, we had trade deadline June 1st. So again, this was certainly a move. I think a lot of people didn't see coming. So Myles Garrett, who just got paid last year, gets traded certainly to the Rams for, again, 2027 first-round pick, and Jared Verse, who was a pretty good defender for the Rams, comes over to the Browns, and they got some other picks coming in as well. So, this is something that obviously shook up certainly the West. So the Rams are a very competitive team. They seem to be going all in, trying to get another chip. Certainly with their quarterback, they're not holding back. And then on the top of that, certainly we have other news coming out that rumors might be coming out that that Aaron Donald may be considering a comeback to the game. So imagine him and Garrett. Imagine that front four. I'm assuming that they played the 4-3 or the 3-4
they play a 3-4, but in the base they're gonna play that's a 4-2-5. So
right. So again, it's yeah. So this was big news. So again, Coach, your thoughts on the Rams with this acquisition, and right now, are they the favorites, the Super Bowl favorites going into next season?
Coming in healthy, yeah. If Donald does what he's talking about, if he comes in, they could arguably be the best team in the West. Barring the age of quarterback, everything comes down to being healthy. They're going to be a little older team, but if they healthy, I can see them making a run to at least the Super Bowl. I can see that. But it'll be interesting, man. I think both teams got a fair deal, and it's gonna be a good ride in LA this year with the team they got on defense. If everybody's healthy, though.
Gotcha. Let's go with Tommy. Tommy on this one, since it's West Coast. So, your thoughts on this trade, and are the Rams, are they the betting favorites going into next year?
If Aaron Donald come back or not, these niggas going to. They literally just got the top corner. It's just like, this is insane. I'm glad I ain't in the NFC West. Like,
that owner, he's not afraid to spend money. He wanted, he basically bought himself a Super Bowl a few years ago. He is not afraid. That guy Cocky, what's his name? He is not afraid to spend money.
And Kroenke, yeah.
Kroenke.
But no, this actually was seen, Mr. Bennett, when they restructured what's his name contract. They started to say, wait a minute, this looks like y'all setting up for a trade, and they, no, we're not trading them. But literally, they called it out when they restructured Myles Garrett contract. They said, oh, this looks like you're preparing for a trade. I think it was a good deal on both ends, to be honest with you. They got Verse. We'll see how Verse does without the talent that LA had, even though Cleveland had a pretty good defense last year. But when you got somebody as good as Myles Garrett, it kind of leans that way. When you got to have three people go block this guy, everybody else kind of be able to look a little better than they were. So we'll see how that works. Plus, they got the first round pick, which is huge. I don't. Did they get anything else after that? When they was working out, they said first round pick and Verse, but I don't know.
Yeah, they got a second round pick. I think they got a second round pick as well in 2028, and then they got a third round pick in 2029. Looks like an NBA trade.
Okay, yeah, that's a good haul then. Yeah, so that's a good haul for Cleveland. From the word I've been hearing is basically Cleveland's just setting up to have another trash season because they in for a quarterback next year because everybody's so thirsty for next year's quarterback draft. Shout out to the Shador fans. But
you're gonna start and they're gonna win 10 games.
Okay. But yeah, so I think it was a good trade on both ends. I think LA is about to be a monster. If they can stay healthy, I think LA is about to be a monster.
Shawnee?
Yeah, LA definitely pushing their chips in because they extended Stafford for one more season, so they definitely pushing their chips in. It just seems like they cap is always seem to be tight, but then they always know how to maneuver stuff around. As a Cowboys fan, that was our biggest frustration with the team because they always said cap. Meanwhile, we seeing teams like the Rams and the Eagles. I'm like, well, they got money being spent all over their roster, but they still able to find and land these top free agents, consistently, especially LA. And so it's definitely going to be a monster trade. Seattle was still right there. It's still going to be a good rivalry, but I know in the games between the two, those games were so back and forth, and the offense carried their own, even against that good Seattle defense. Defense couldn't stop anybody. So that was the main reason why, LA was like, offense stay good. We about to stock up on defense. As for the Browns side, I believe they got a good deal for they trade because I'm the mindset if you are a bottom franchise and all you really have is a franchise player, I mean, it's just the fans, I guess, to give them a player to root for. But if you know that franchise player is worth a lot if you trade him. Go ahead and trade him because you ain't going to get no better. You know, if you keep him, you just got a lot of money going to one player. Meanwhile, you constantly, you know, finishing towards the bottom of the league. But you get, you trade him, get some nice assets for him. Now you're going to have some space and draft picks to really build your squad up. You know, so that I don't. That's why I don't mind Cleveland making that trade because now you got better too. You got a nice player in Verse, plus you got some draft picks coming your way, and who knows, they may still have some moves left to make. You know, so
better. They got a better position, but they didn't get better as a team.
Well, I don't think they got the better, but they got a good position. They better off than what they was with Garrett because you just have an all pro player, but who else you have? So it's not like it's going to translate to wins, and you give them a lot of money.
Max Crosby trade, like that's why I was good with it. With the same thing like what you said, Johnny. Like it's cool to have them, but what's the use of having them if everything behind them is trash? But then it turned around because we had the offseason we had. So it's like, damn, we didn't throw in the 2 linebackers, a couple of safeties, and they just drafted. Now you throw Max Crosby right back in there. Now it's like, oh, shit, okay, it's different. But originally, I'm like, what's the use of having Max? He's not winning games for us. We need more players. Get what you can. So, I think that's what, like what you said, Shawnee, I think that's what Cleveland was doing.
Well, that's what drives me crazy about the average fan because they so stuck on names, and they don't look at the team. I'm like, dude, like a baseball team. I can't say nothing about the Angels because Mike Trout, he decided to stay there. I have no reason why he don't want to go nowhere else. But you can imagine the haul that the Angels could get if they would have traded Mike Trout. But he decided to stay there. But the common fan, all they see is the name on the back. And no matter if the team is losing, you be like, dude, you know if you trade him, because all you can ask your franchise to do is to make moves to try to make your team better. That's it. That's all they can really do. But if you're going to keep paying one player all the money and you're going to constantly lose, then I guess – so I don't mind the trade that the Browns did at all.
I said the same thing with Khalil Mack. When we got rid of Khalil Mack, and everywhere Khalil Mack, what happened? And there's no knock to Khalil Mack, but not much. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's a – even though he's a generational talent at his position, your position isn't a team-changing position if you don't have help. Not like a quarterback. If you had a quarterback that was that good, one quarterback we've seen, Jaden Daniels, can completely change your organization around. A good edge is good, but he's good with other pieces around him. If you don't got them other pieces, ain't no reason to keep him.
Gotcha. Dante, your thoughts both on the trade and also, because I know you're a defensive guy, the thought or the prospect of Aaron Donald coming back and being part of that.
Man, I'll say this because the Rams, and I did a video about it. Man, the Rams, they always say F them picks. They say F them first round picks, and they trade them for vets. They got Kobe Turner, who has 7 sacks on the interior, which they don't need Aaron Donald. That's just greedy. He has 7 sacks. Byron Young, the other edge, he got 12 sacks. He's going into a contract year, and now he got a guy that can get 20 on the other end. That guy's about to get a bag. I know he was the happiest man. He was like, oh, and the way they overpaid these guys in free agency. So shout out to that guy. I hope he changes agency. Go ahead and get the dude that always hit the Cowboys for the bread. David Mulugeta. Go ahead and get him. I'm tired of him getting my guys. He just got Jerry Jones with his hands up down, just shaking them, straight shakedown. But nah, man, like I put it like this. I was optimistic about my Cowboys all season, thinking like, you know what, the Rams, we matched up against those corners on the Thanksgiving game, and we had a good game against them. But now I have no answer for Myles Garrett. So now I'm like, damn, we might beat the corners. They ain't gonna have a time. So it's like, nah, man, you got 2 good edges, interior, and then as far on the run stop side, Poona Ford is a good interior nose tackle. So it's just like, now the linebacker play, I don't know. I looked at their roster. I don't know how much depth they got, but then they'll find like the slot receiver they got him in the 6th round. They use the rest of those picks to get cheap. That's how they get their cheap talent. They're cheaper than first rounders. And then it's like, nah, we're just burning these first round picks. Now everything makes sense. I don't like Ty Simpson. It makes perfect sense to be like, we ain't gonna be able to get a quarterback of the future in a while because we've been working on this deal. So they playing chess. They're playing 3D chess. Everybody, other GMs is pitch. I don't know what they're doing, but they are about it. They are trying to host that Super Bowl that they're having in their stadium with their team there. I salute good team building. I even salute, Howie Roseman with good team building when he does it. Except I don't like that other deal that he just made. I don't agree with that. But
okay, we'll talk about that. That'll come up in the next block. But before we move over there, since we were talking about Aaron Donald, I thought I'd do another quick round of better than. All right, so again, Aaron Donald, 10-time Pro Bowler, 8-time All-Pro, all 2010s team. Clearly, I think a first ballot Hall of Famer. Got his Super Bowl with the Rams. But I'd like to just go through a quick round of better than, comparing him. I'm going to go two different types here, at position and at just defense, period. Now, I find it interesting when I was looking at this because there was some names, and obviously me being older, me and coaching the older guys here, I was going back to the 70s, and I realized I didn't want to do that. I like to keep these in a comparative, at least within their peer groups for the most part. So, and I also realized it seemed like back in the day, the defensive tackle seemed to be the dominant position. Mean Joe Green, Randy White, even even Bob Lilly, who's all these old heads talk about he's the greatest defensive tackle of all time or whatever from the Cowboys. But it just seemed like in the 70s, the DT position was sort of the glamour position of the defense. Now they kind of moved everything out to the ends. So I wanted to compare at the tackle position guys I could find who could be somewhat comparable to Donald in this conversation. So again, I'll just put the names up.
I'm gonna say this for you, Mr. Bennett, just to ease your time. I don't think you're gonna put anybody on this list that's gonna be better than Donald.
Okay, and that's fair.
Go ahead and drop them all down.
Drop them all down. Okay. Okay, so we can speed through this then. But again, if you guys, but see, the thing is, like I said, this isn't. What I like about this also, it could be just your guy. You could be a hater. You could be a homer if you want to. I don't mind. I just like guys just chopping it up. So you could be a total homer. It's totally up to you. But the first guy on this list at position. So this is defensive tackles, not defensive ends. Cortez Kennedy.
Nah.
Nope.
Nah.
John Randall, Hall of Famer. Warren Sapp.
Nah.
Nope, but he'll be the closest.
He's the closest.
John Randall was off the edge for some reason.
Well, at least when I looked up the Pro Football Reference, they got him listed as a tackle. They're pretty good at even at position. Like if you played defensive tackle for some years and then switched over to defensive end, they're usually good at calling that out. So, for what I understand, he played tackle for most of his career.
One thing you have to give Warren Sapp also, he did score touchdowns. He did line up and play tight end a couple of times and score touchdowns too.
What are you talking about?
Right, and Chris Jones.
No.
I think that's all I had there. So, if you guys are going to say he's the great, so if the thing is he's the greatest defensive tackle of all time, where does he then line up in the GOAT list? So we're talking about just defensive players at any position. Is he going to be on your Mount Rushmore? So we got guys here. Again, Bruce Smith.
Yeah,
I got him over. Smith.
I see him better.
Over Bruce Smith? Coach?
Yeah. He's over Bruce Smith.
Reggie White.
Wow.
No.
I say
if you guys are saying, are we talking about arguably the greatest defensive player ever?
What? So with Donald, he's up there with the White, the Watt, and the Taylors. He's up there. So
he's over Watt.
No, they about the same. No, they both 3 times.
I didn't even put Watt.
They about the same. Watt did tackle and end. No, they not better than Watt.
I can't put him over 198. I can't put him over 198.
He was not in that. Come on,
JJ Watt what?
You get 111 sacks at D tackle is insane.
JJ Watt was also a D tackle. They moved him.
He was more in, at least when I looked up his stats, they listed him as an end, not a tackle.
He did both.
Okay, I'll give Watt this. He was a 3-4 end, a true 3-4 end, where they still ran it a little bit more. So but on third downs, he was on the edge. I think he might have kicked him inside. Sometimes he was extremely impressive. But I got to put this into context. Defensive tackle wise, I don't know if it was one of those not officials. He's listed at 6'1", 285, and he is throwing guys around. I'm putting him over almost anybody. I can't put him like that.
I think he weighed less than that. I mean, they were talking about he was weighing like 265 or whatever, because he was not built like a traditional D tackle. The guy had abs, 6-pack abs and stuff. I mean,
because both of them could play the pass and the run. Both of them were kind of run.
He just beat Shady McCoy in a foot race. I believe it was Shady McCoy.
He was insane. He was one of those insane athletes.
Y'all gonna make me go to the
left tackle, but it's like built like it's crazy.
All right, Ray Lewis. And you can we're talking about GOATs, guys who had impact on the game. In game time, who was the most hellacious, who just impacted, you had to plan for this guy, all of that.
Ray Lewis was great, right? But again, dog, 111 sacks at D tackle. Bro, you're double teamed every play. You have a center and a guard, and in his case, they even showed where tackles was coming in on you. Not to mention the running back chipping you. And 111, and like you just said, Dante, and you're undersized at that position. And like, come on, dog. That's insanity.
Well, I saw a graphic comparing Ray Lewis to Lawrence Taylor, and of course Taylor, because Taylor went after the quarterback. He had the big lead on sacks, but tackles, it was Ray. So when it comes to the sacks, Ray just didn't go after the QBs. He was a traditional linebacker. He was the middle
linebacker. He's my backer. I mean, certainly if Lawrence, he would definitely be just an edge. He'd be an edge linebacker.
I'm not knocking Ray when I say that. What I'm saying is, Ray's a linebacker. You're supposed to get a bunch of tackles, right?
Supposed to.
At D tackle, you aren't supposed to have 111 sacks, bro.
No.
That's not normal.
Facts.
Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, so when I look at Ray and I see, he got a hell of tackles, I'm not looking at I'm looking at it, I'm impressed by the number, right? But I'm not looking at it and going, damn, this linebacker got all of these tackles.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this tackle like, why does he have 111? That's unheard of, bro.
It's unheard of. Yeah.
That's insane.
Unreal, man.
You got to remember, too, once you start going up that sack, now everybody knows what you're about. So now you got even more attention on you, and you still like, bro, that's crazy.
And I'll give you this, too, Tommy. Winning Defensive Player of the Year at defensive tackle, that is like the holy grail of you're not supposed to do that. You are not supposed to do that.
How many seasons did he play?
Like 10. Yeah, he left relatively young.
10 and 111 and 3 defensive players a year. Most of the time all pro.
Sacks alone put him in the Hall of Fame, first bid, everything. If he don't come back,
right. Yeah. So given what everybody's saying, the guy's got ridiculous numbers. Is he on your Mount Rushmore then? Yeah. Who are you taking out of? Who are you taking out this list? And would you consider him? I know a lot. And again, I'm going to be a homer. I don't think prime. I would take my guy from the Steelers over Deion Sanders. So that's a no. Going back to the 70s, man. Nah, I'm having a brain freeze right now. But
Mel Blount.
Yeah, Mel Blount. Thank you. Check the stats between Mel Blount and Deion. And back then they instituted the Mel Blount rule to open up the office because he would just throw guys around. But again, I'm being a homer there. But I'm just saying,
problem
given
with
these
that.
guys who are considered the best at their positions or some of the best defenders of all time, do we need to put Aaron Donald on Mount Rushmore?
Reggie
And
right
arguably the best. Unless you want to say you want to make an argument for Taylor.
Nah, I think Taylor was kind
Taylor
of
stays.
yeah.
Reggie White got to go
Taylor
on this.
stays.
Yeah, I would say
Nah, Reggie. I'm keeping Reggie. Reggie.
I say
Okay, so you're keeping Reggie and Long. Okay, so Reggie and Taylor are on there. Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor, right? Who you taking off?
Deion Sanders.
Take Deion out. Plug him out.
I'll say Ray off. I'm keeping Deion. I gotta keep Prom.
There we go.
So y'all keep. So all y'all keeping Bruce on.
Keeping Prom.
Bruce, I said.
Bruce gone. Bruce gone.
Okay.
Bruce the first one to go.
So then where's
My
that?
bad,
So
that was-
right. And again,
Reggie
I'm not
White-
going with this. I'm not going back to the Leatherheads. I'm not going back to Butkus. I'm not going back to Lilly. I'm not going back to those guys from the day. So
Bruce was the DN, right, Mr. Bennett?
Yeah, he played defensive
Yeah.
end.
So you're not even on work. Yeah, you don't beat out
You
Lawrence
gotta
Taylor.
go.
Yeah, so we got
You gotta go.
the top D tackle, the top secondary, the top linebacker, and the top end. Yeah.
so you take so you taking Ray off, and who else you taking off? Bruce.
No, I said Bruce. That's 4. I took
Bruce gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
Bruce Smith's got to go.
Hang on, Tommy. Say that one more time. So
I said take Bruce. Okay, so this is my argument. Bruce Smith doesn't beat out Reggie White at the same position and doesn't
Right.
beat out Taylor at the same position.
okay,
gotta
so you
go.
plug Bruce in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's no different. Bruce was a monster. It's no disrespect. But you got 2 people on the list that are better at you at the same position. You got to go.
Yeah, you got to go.
All right. So Bruce is out, and who else you taking out? You taking out Ray?
No,
Take
that's
Deion.
4.
Take Deion off.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm tripping. Yeah, because
Deion off.
yeah,
Take
so I would
Deion
say, and I say Reggie.
also, but definitely take
I
Deion
say
Sanders.
Reggie.
So you're
Because
taking Bruce and Ray out, and you're putting down Donald in, and that's going to be your top D tackle, your top defensive end, your top linebacker, and your top defensive back.
I say Bruce and Reggie, and I keep Ray, Lawrence, Deion, and Aaron.
Okay.
You got to.
Because I'll
Yeah,
put
my
Reggie.
thing
I'll put Reggie second to Lawrence Taylor. So
Yeah, and the thing is, Lawrence Taylor, as far as transcending, he fits in this era when they say the hybrid guy because everybody say a linebacker. I don't see him as a linebacker. I see him as an edge. He's gonna have the quarterback. So I'm
Sure.
putting him like he's gonna be my smaller edge coming out the end. My power end is going to be Reggie White, 198 sacks, and then inside I got Aaron Donald, and I got Deion taking that top of the field. What are you gonna do with it? Like that's insane. And I hate to take Ray out. I got the most unique guys I could.
But Dante, if you put
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald on there, it's only
That's
so much
crazy.
double team you're gonna be able to do. then when you get past them, I got Ray sitting there waiting on you.
Wait, no,
And then I got Deion waiting for you on that outside. So half the field is shut off.
down.
That's the
So
field
now
long.
half the field shut off, the middle of the field shut off, and the whole D line is out. That's
And if we going by old school rules, Ray can knock your block off. Oh my gosh! Sometimes I miss those hits. I respect the head conditions, but my gosh, like that hit where Ray Lewis hit that dude and everybody started, I was like, oh my god!
And I was going to say, Mr. Bennett, you also got to take into account when you looking at the stats, especially with cornerbacks, the games where the quarterback just flat out wouldn't throw. Like just flat out, like there's games we just flat out wasn't throwing to Deion. Charles Woodson, same thing. When Nnamdi Asomugha was at the top with the Raiders, same thing. They literally would not throw to these dudes. We just don't. So that's where it gets tricky when you look at stats. Is the stats will look a certain way, but then they don't put in there that the quarterback threw 2 times, so it was rat.
Gotcha. Yeah, my only thing with Blount again. Interception numbers were the same, but like you said, depends not throwing to the field. But again, Blount played on the line, and at the time he was like 6'4" and 210 pounds. He was built like a linebacker, and that's why they had to change the rules because that 5-yard chuck rule, he would just knock your receivers over, and so that's why they had the Mel Blount rule to open up the game because he was so dominant at the front. Deion, I don't think ever.
I want to end this because you said this once. about Charles Woodson, no, about Rod Woodson. He was like, hey, I think he's a better DB than Deion. Notice,
I
even
don't
at his
think no.
older age, Deion never had to move to safety. At that time, the way I was trained is you move to safety and if you have the versatility or you can no longer have the chops. And I respect Charles Woodson all day, but he did as a guy that had to move back there. But I take nothing away from him. But my thing is Deion at 37 as coming back was still playing corner and moving with guys. And I put that just a little bit above some of the guys that move. No
but the guys who moved, they were still all pros at those positions, though.
Yeah, they were. So
but
I give them that.
I also say this, though, Mr. Bennett. If I'm just chucking guys at the line, then am I really covering them?
Right. I'm just saying the physical. I mean, Deion is usually known as a cover corner. Now, he doesn't like when you say that. I'm the best cover. You can say he's the best cover corner of all time. He says, no, I'm the best corner. And that to me, that means not just covering, but also tackling and on at the front of the line or against it.
Yeah, you know.
So that's what I'm saying. So playing the field.
Your main job as a corner is to cover and not let them get the ball. Your job ain't to go out there and hit. That's why you're like 6'1", maybe 200.
200.
Mm-hmm. Your job ain't to be the hitter. Put it like this: if you're out there making a tackle, something went wrong.
Well, it ain't that you ain't making a tackle. If you lead your team in tackles, y'all pretty weak.
Right. Well, now, especially now, the fact that they're doing all these slants now, and the slot receivers is become so prominent in the game now. Yeah, so it's not, you're not covering a guy 20, 30 yards down the field necessarily. So you got to play the inside as well as out, and now you got. The cornerback positions got more specialized now. You got slot guys, you got guys on the edge, and so on and so forth. In addition to the safeties,
and can we change it, especially on this show? Can we start to realize that? And I hate when people don't do this with football. Hey man, the Sam linebacker is a 20% player. That's a part-time player. Your slot corner is a starting player. Teams are playing basically 3 cornerbacks for the most part. People are not really playing base like that. So when you say specialized, it's becoming from specialized to, hey man, that slot corner is the starter. And if you don't have a good slot corner, even if the guy's not good in the slot, you're going to put your best receiver in the slot against their subpar corner, and you're going to feast. That's one thing that people still haven't come around to yet.
Gotcha. Last block I want to talk about in the NFL. Obviously, another big trade. Well, and again, this didn't surprise anybody. It was just a matter of time, and even stories were coming out recently about all the drama that was going on in Philly. So obviously A.J. Brown, no surprise that he goes to the Patriots, 2028 first round pick and a 2027 fifth round pick. You even had one of the players for the Eagles saying just the drama that was there. He just said, "Thank God it's over." And so it was just like there was just too much drama there. So again, I think it's certainly good. I think the Eagles ultimately, will win this trade. I mean, going to Patriots now. Again, I know the Patriots just a couple weeks ago. There was a lot of turmoil there with the coach and everything. I think he's safe because they would you were hearing talks that he might have to leave the team and all this kind of stuff. But I think a lot of that noise has certainly quieted down with that scandal there. But I think the Eagles, certainly got just to clear the locker room, and now we'll get to see Shawnee and Dante. Can Jalen Hurts? Can he, maneuver and can he do some things without having all that drama in the locker room? So I think this is a good trade. I think the Eagles get the better half of this trade, and Roseman always seems to get the better half of everything. So again, shout out to Roseman. But Coach, your thoughts on this trade? Again, not a surprise, but I'm just finally glad it got done, and we'll see how the Eagles go forward from here.
Not a surprise. We've been talking about it since mid-season. Seemed like last year they've been talking about trading the man. So I think it's good for him to move on to a team that he could probably find some redemption, because he's clearly still a top receiver. He got a first-round pick. So, and I guess with the players, let's get it done. I think it's just sad that players are put in positions just with trades. You've been telling you getting trades since the playoffs, man. You got to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that it's over for both teams. Both teams are good for some good news. I can't see. Yeah, it's a close game. They both in for some good news. So we'll see, man. They just gonna have to get him the ball. Hope they don't trade for him and just isolate him and don't get him at least 75 to 100 passes. So we'll see, man. Young team. He's going to have to show some leadership with New England, or he won't last long. He's going to have to show some leadership. But, Philadelphia, they starting fresh. We'll see what they quarterback do, because he's still going to be a question mark coming into, and their defense. So salute to both teams.
Gotcha. Dante?
I think if you give up the best player in the trade, you lost the trade. So, like I said, I did a video about it. If you were gonna be honest, and people say, "Hey, Cowboys lost the trade. They traded Marcus Parsons, gave away the best player." And in this situation, you got a pick in 2028, so you didn't get encouraged with first round pick. And I would say clearly Drake May being able to team. I think they got Mac Hollins is probably gonna be like their slot guy, or going to be one of their receivers. You got AJ Brown, who's going to dictate coverage, which they sorely needed. Stephon Diggs is who he used to be, but he can still dictate coverage. Can't govern one-on-one. And then you got
Is
Romeo
Diggs
Dobbs.
still with the? Was Diggs still? Diggs isn't with the team anymore, is it?
No, Diggs. That's what I'm saying. Diggs wasn't the same guy, so they got rid of him. You get AJ Brown with Diggs. You replace that, and you got Romeo Dobbs to your side, so he can come in and play in the slot. He's going to tear up the middle of the field. You still got Henry. You still got Henry at tight end. You got two good backs. They did sign Elijah Vera Tucker, the offensive lineman, the guard, to go sit next to Will Campbell. And Will Campbell has to improve. He's got a YouTube creator I follow. He calls it the NFL peanut butter. Them guys just get bigger that first offseason, all that training and particular diets that they do. So I think the Patriots come out clearly the winner. The thing is, Eagles fans, y'all been telling us, oh, this is nonsense. This is this and that. Nah, man, the reporter's been holding it down, and they've been keeping a lid on it. I don't want to get into all the rumors and what's proven, but clearly it was a problem. I've heard as much as if they said if Hurts did not play well, they were going to trade him and keep AJ. And then they start coming out and supporting him. And then that's when AJ soured. And if they could have got more at the deadline, they should have got more at the deadline. I'm not so. Keep in mind, they drafted Devontae Smith, and then they traded for AJ Brown later. So I don't think he could be the number one on his own. I feel like he's a little bit better in the slot, but then you draft Mekhi Lemon in the slot, and where does he do his damage? In the middle of the field. Where does Jalen Hurts not to throw? In the middle of the field. So I'm trying to see how this is going to be. If you can say kumbaya, you can put that peace animal in the middle, whatever it is, in the middle of the locker room. When they go 1-2, they're going to want his head. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to laugh. Matter of fact, my radio station here locally, anytime the Eagles lose, they do a check-in. Let's listen to them melt down over in Philly. And it's wonderful. I love starting my morning off like that. So I couldn't be more delighted with this trade. Good job, Howard Roseman. Good freaking job.
Gotcha. Shawnee?
Yeah, like we were saying, I'm not surprised by the trade. They were just waiting till the window that'll make it legal to trade. But they
so we might be what?
I got distracted. And I don't. It's basically what I was saying about the team as a whole, the offense. I mean, yes, Jalen Hurts is a winning quarterback, but if you're a receiver, the fact is your numbers are going to drop with him. He's not a throwing quarterback like that. He could have games like that, but you can't count on it. So A.J. Brown, who is one of the elite receivers, he was just getting frustrated because he wasn't being used to the capability that he can provide. And he even mentioned during the season, our offense is not clicking right now. And it was true. They weren't. So it was some, it was just stuff that was going on throughout the season. I mean, Patriots definitely lucked up to getting him because they had a number one receiver in Diggs, let him go. Now you get another number one receiver in Brown. You just upgraded. So they definitely keeping a number one receiver on their squad. But yeah, it's. I'm not, as everybody was saying, we're not surprised that he was traded, but it's when I look at it, I was bringing it. Y'all kept saying I was a Hurts hater and whatnot. I'm like, he's a winning quarterback, but you are not going to get your numbers basically as a receiver on his team. And now you add that with a player the caliber of AJ Brown, and you paying him like the money of Justin Jefferson per se. They not they if they don't have that skill set, they don't want to be a pedestrian in their own offense. They want to be a key contributor in that offense, and it just wasn't like that with Philly. So it's going to be interesting to see how that offense going to look like next year, because when they won the Super Bowl, that was really off the back of it could have been a career record-breaking season for their running back. That's why they was winning so much, because their running back was just killing it. Barkley wasn't doing that last year, and you saw that offense come back down to earth. They was kind of stagnant a lot of time during the season. Now, unless they think Barkley's going to reinvert himself back again 2 seasons ago, it's going to be, because other than that, I would not be surprised. I would give them, because last year they was pointing at the offensive coordinator. I think he's gone, so you can't point at him no more. You can't point at AJ Brown no more, because AJ Brown had some drops in the key at the end of the season, and it's really going to be focusing on Hurts and Sirianni. So I think it's going to be some movement if they have a bad offensive year next year. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do the following offseason. You're mute, Mr. Smith.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Same thing everybody said. We seen it coming. I think actually they had to wait for some financial stuff with the salary cap and stuff. I believe that's what they were saying. That's why he had to wait. I think same thing with the Myles Garrett thing too. They had to wait. I believe it's after June 1st is why they waited to do the trade. Shawnee, the interesting part about that is what comes up is what's now you have the conversation about what's more important, winning or you getting your numbers, and that's where it gets shaky with you, because, and I'm not saying he's right, wrong, or different either. I'm just saying that's when that conversation comes up, because clearly Philly was being pretty successful. They not a bum team. You're just frustrated because you're not getting your numbers, and that's the part where, especially with fans, are looking and going, come on, dude, do you want to win or do you want to, get your numbers? So, and I agree with you too. I mean, clearly we saw that he wasn't, getting the numbers that he's accustomed to and stuff like that. As far as what they got for him, I don't see that pick. I mean, barring some kind of crazy injury, I don't see that pick being like a top 10 pick or maybe even top 15 or top 20 the way the Patriots, are moving. So, I guess that might have probably been the best that they could get for him. I mean, from what it said, it was weird to me that it was so prevalent for so long that he was going to the Patriots. To me, I'm wondering, like, damn, is it a reason why that's the only team that's been named? Because I didn't hear no other team named but the Patriots pretty much.
I think I forgot. They brought up a team last year that was interested in it, but then they backed out.
I'm talking about this. No, I'm talking about this offseason. Like this offseason.
Yeah. He could have been traded last season, but that was the only time. So I think that explains why they didn't get. It's almost like Dallas and the Luka trade. If you only have one team entertaining you, they can give you whatever you want, because they know eventually you're gonna give us a player. There was no market for AJ Brown, so that's why I guess that the return wasn't as big as you may expect for a dude as talented as him.
Yeah. So that's all I say. Is the return seemed kind of light for somebody like AJ Brown, but like what you said, Shawnee, it kind of makes sense, and I think he got a lot of dirt thrown his name because of the way he was behaving the last couple of years too. So,
gotcha.
But
Gotcha. All right, we're gonna move. We're coming towards the end of the show. Again, we need to make sure that we prep for our guy Tarus, who'll be coming on after us at 10. So I want to give the final segment of the show over to our guy Anton, our resident hockey expert. So right now we have the NHL, just as we have the NBA finals going on at the same time. We also have the NHL going on, and so you have Las Vegas again coming off a sweep in their previous series, and they take game one against the Hurricanes. So again, I'll turn it over to Anton. You can certainly, you got the floor to kind of highlight, I guess, game one. What do we expect to see in the series, and how do you, just based on what you've seen, how do you see this series going? So I'll turn it over to you, and you cover how you want to spin it.
All right. Well, first off, condolences to the family of Claude Lemieux. Sadly, NHL lost a very good player, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, resident agitator, but he was the type of guy you want on your team. Won a cup in Montreal in '86. He won 2 cups with New Jersey Devils, first in '95 and then again in 2000. And he also won a Stanley Cup in '96 with the Colorado Avalanche in their first year in Denver. He's that guy that you wanted to have on your team. What he did in the 90 Cup in the '96 conference finals, and I didn't get a chance to see that game. He literally rearranged Chris Draper's face by hitting him from behind, breaking his jaw, his orbital, and his cheekbone. So that was started the rivalry between the Avalanche and the Red Wings for the next, I think, like 5-6 years after that, because it seemed like every year they were playing against each other, and the rivalry was so heated. Chris Draper, Darren McCarty, and Claude Lemieux never shook hands every time they had the handshake line. That's how much bad blood they had. Eventually, they did mend fences. They did get things right. When Lemieux had some issues, Draper and McCarty called to see if he was okay. And when Draper had some issues, losing his father, same thing with McCarty, and he had substance abuse issues, the first person to call to check up on them was Claude Lemieux. So eventually they did mend fences and everything else. And one of the first individuals to speak out after he found out that Claude Lemieux died was Chris Draper. And not Chris Draper, my fault. It was Darren McCarty. He spoke up and everything else, and he said, "We just lost another brother." And, and his son Brandon came out, was open about what happened, what was wrong with his father, and the family just chose to donate his brain to Boston University to do the study for CTEs, because it was possible he was suffering from issues of CTE. And Gary Bettman, if you are listening and if you are watching, I think you really need to start taking this a little bit more serious, you and the NHL. But that's all I got to say on that.
Vegas, NFL had to be forced to take it serious. So,
yeah, but but that's why you got to give credit to Eric Lindros. He was ahead of the game when it came to this issue. He really was. All right, now game one, Vegas got it done on the road. Took advantage of some mistakes Carolina made, and vice versa. Win the game 5-4. Game 2 will be tomorrow. So I think Rob Brindamore, the Hurricanes head coach, is basically going to tell the team, listen, this ain't the first time. We know what we did. We bounced back. We were able to do what we have to do. And it's true, because after they lost game 1 in the conference finals against Le Canadiens de Montreal, they ended up winning 4 in a row. So it's not going to scare them. It's not going to bother them in any way, shape, or form. As for Vegas, they just going to keep doing what they're doing. And that's what it is. Taking advantage of the little mistakes, using the puck to their advantage, using the power play. John Tortorella got these guys really up and going in every shape or form. He's basically telling them, listen, we've been here before. It's not a big deal. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. I also want to clarify on a mistake I made last week. I said it was Peter DeBoer that Larry Robinson replaced. It was actually Robbie Ftorek. He was the coach of the Devils in the 99-2000 season. Got fired near the end of the season. They brought on They promoted Larry Robinson, who was the assistant coach, and he was the one that basically was the coach that led the Devils to that Stanley Cup in 2000 against the Dallas Stars. Sorry, Dante. But honestly, I'm looking at this. This is a series that can definitely go 6, maybe 7 games. I don't see a sweep coming into this. I don't see Vegas just coming in and just saying, we're coming in and we're going to win the cup. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No. Brendan Moore has been in this situation before as a player himself. He won the cup with the Canes 20 years ago, and now he's doing this as a coach. And he could be one of the first in the history of the NHL to win a Stanley Cup as both a player and as a coach with the same organization. So Brendan Moore's going to let them know, listen, shake it off. We'll bounce back from this. We're going to just keep doing what we're doing, what works, and then we're going to just see what happens one game at a time. So this is going to be one of those drag out, back and forth, very physical, and everyone's going to try to make sure no one makes any dumb mistakes or any small mistakes whatsoever. So I'm looking forward to this series. I like watching this series, and I'm actually picking Carolina to win this mainly because Keandre Miller is a former Ranger, and I want to see him skating around with the cup. That's just my opinion on it. But
Gotcha. Now, are you a fan? Do you like the 5-4 game or do you like the 2-1 game?
oh wow, to me, as if it's a 1-goal game, I'm good. It don't matter if it's 2-1 or 5-4, as long
Right.
as it's a fight and it's close and guys take advantage of mistakes, little things like that. I'm good. I don't like
Right.
games when it's totally one-sided.
Not so much one side, but do you prefer high scoring games or to versus low scoring affairs?
I don't mind the high-scoring games, and I'm good with the low-scoring games too. As
Okay.
long as it's a close game, as long as it's a fight on both sides, I'm good with that. I just don't like it when it's totally one-sided and they win like 8-2. That's
Gotcha.
fun. That's not really
Gotcha. Yeah,
But,
I can see that. I can see. Yeah. If you leave, if you leave the game in the second, but at the end of the second period, then yeah, it's
so
now it's competitive.
it's
But
going to be interesting what's going to happen because you got already players who's going to be looked at, who's going to be candidates for the Conn Smythe, and that's the MVP for the playoffs. And that's not just for the finals; it's basically everything you did throughout the playoffs.
gotcha.
That's basically done. So you got a couple good players on this list and everything else. Mitch Marner's one. Frederick Anderson could be another. Also, the stories of guys trying to finally win their first cup. Taylor Hall, he's been in the league for a significant amount of time. This is his This might be his only other opportunity to finally win Lord Stanley. You have Jordan Stahl as well. This might be his only opportunity as well. And Vegas, you still have the same team from when they last won the cup. I believe it was in 2023. So it's practically the same team and everything else, but a couple of changes here and there. One player that's definitely making some headways that's really surprised people is Carter Hart. I said it last week, a couple of years ago. He was involved in a situation that happened back in 2019 when he was playing for Team Canada at the World Juniors.
Mhm.
That summer, the team came back, had a victory gala. Him and 4 other players got caught up with some stuff, and unfortunately, some legal stuff got involved and everything else. And even though he and the 4 other players were found not guilty, all 5 players were released from their respective teams, and they were not reinstated by the NHL until November 1st. So surprisingly, Hart was also being looked at by the Carolina Hurricanes to be their goaltender. But a significant number of season ticket holders made it known that if the Canes signed Hart, they were canceling their season tickets. So for him to go from persona non grata to starting goalie in the Stanley Cup Finals, and this is a guy who
That's the
started
story. Yeah.
the Flyers, it's a bit of a shock. And I know a lot of Flyer fans are angry and bitter because he was playing for them and he was their future in net. And until that situation came up. So I know a lot of Flyer fans that are pissed. Hey, it is what it is. So maybe this is his redemption. I don't know. I'm not even going to touch that legal situation. For some of the guys, like I said, like Jordan Stahl and Taylor Hall, this might be their last chance. So we have to wait and see. For Brendan Moore, the coach of the Canes, he won it as a player. Now he has a chance to win it as a coach with the same organization. And you also look at Vegas' coach, John Tortorella, coming into a situation. Bruce Cassidy, he's already won a cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 2004.
Right.
He's one of the winningest American-born coaches in NHL history, has over 700-plus wins. He's a 2-time recipient of the Jack Adams Trophy as Coach of the Year. Did it with both the Tampa Bay Lightning the year they won the Cup and with the Columbus Blue Jackets. And he also, like I said, he also has a gold medal being an assistant for Team USA in the Olympics. It's going to be – there's a lot of stories behind all this, and it's going to be more interesting to see how this plays out. So I'm looking Carolina probably in 7.
Wow.
Because it's always great to see the team win the cup on their home ice in front of their fans. It's even more exciting.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The hockey summary with all the stories and all the scenarios there. So thank you, Anton, for being able to succinctly put all that together. And just looking at that, you'll definitely get me watching a couple of these games, certainly in this final. But just we're gonna start our closing thoughts. A couple just quick news notes will be my closing thoughts. So first and foremost, I want to say certainly congrats to Russell Wilson, who is calling it a career. And certainly going into the booth, I think it's a natural fit for him, to be part of the CBS team on the pregame show. So, again, we'll see how that goes for him. But, again, 10-time Pro Bowler. I know there's been a lot of debate in terms of is he a Hall of Famer. A lot of people think he's maybe ruined his Hall of Fame chances just given his last few years since he left Seattle and went to Denver. But, again, congrats to him for, moving on and pivoting to this new role in life. And I certainly wish him well. The guy seems to be a guy of high character, and we'll see how he does. And behind the mic in an NFL studio. And finally, I just wanted to break Serena Williams coming out of retirement at age 44 after being away for 4 years. Certainly not sure how this is going to go for her. What are her goals? Does she think she's still a contending player? Or is this just for publicity or promoting something? We don't know. But she's made an announcement that she's coming back. And I'm sure she'll garner some interest because, again, I don't know what the ratings for female tennis, women's tennis has been certainly since she's left. But certainly I would think, you'll have some eyes certainly tuning in to see if she can, still capture at 44. You don't have men. I think I remember Jimmy Connors, I think, came back and he got to a quarterfinals of the U.S. Open, I think, at age 39. So, again, but I don't have any big lofty ambitions, but certainly just seeing Serena back on the court, I think that'll have a lot of eyeballs tuning in to see how that goes. But I'll turn it over to Dante. You want to give me final thoughts before we close out the show tonight?
Man, I pretty much gave mine with my take on the Eagles, but just with the Rams, man, like I wish more GMs should be that aggressive. They really should. Like, why not?
No doubt. Shawnee?
Mine's is I'm watching this game, and I can just see this new NBA in effect. These teams is throwing up threes left and right. And at one point, they've been doing a solid job on Brunson, but he tweaked his knee, but he was able to come back, thankfully. But, yeah, I'm just watching them. Every time I look up a three-pointer being launched, so far it's a good game, though. It's just runs are being made, especially with the Knicks. It's like they staying in the game via the three. So, but so far it's a good game. I guess two fairly even teams that could both play defense and offense, both good three-point shooting teams. So. Hopefully this is we'll be in for a good series, but I still got Spurs in 5.
Gotcha. Tommy, and again, thanks always. Again, you always have a seat here anytime you want to jump on, but appreciate you being here tonight. But anything you want to say before we close?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm with you, Shawnee, but they made part of that run was a couple of Jalen drives. That's how he tweaked his knee was on the drive. I was gonna put the shoes up for you, Coach. I ain't forgot about it. They got one pair that he got right now.
Oh, okay.
Little walking shoe, little style.
Yeah, there's another one. He got you can't see that. That's green, but my green screen on. So
look red.
He got some dope shoes. And then he got like some interpolations of some of Nike shoes. So like some of mine is like his interpretation of like the ones. And then he got original shoes. These some more that he got. Different color and style.
Nice little shoe. Nice little.
Yeah, and it's just completely independent. Like I said, his SIA_collective on Instagram. Completely independent black dude. Also a veteran. But cool. Here go another pair, some white and red ones.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
And see, I was messing with him way back when most of his shoes was like interpolations. Here's another one, some cool ones. So he got some nice shoes on there. Like I said, I try my best if I can to support black businesses. And so when I seen him come up, I actually found him. He was on the Breakfast Club years ago. And that's how I heard about him. And I looked him up and I'm like, oh, his shoes kind of dope.
Yeah.
And then I just started messing with him. So I'm probably almost 20 pairs in with him right now.
Right.
They're a little pricey, not too much pricier than if you buy, Jordan and stuff like that. Price point.
It's interesting. I was just watching this guy on YouTube. He does these documentary things on the rise and fall of companies, and some of these I didn't even know. So he was talking about the rise and fall of Nike, how Nike's like really fallen off in recent years. So that was a fascinating commentary. So I might want to even maybe in a future show talk about that, like how how Nike got itself into the situation where they're no longer the quote unquote in shoe, given decades of the marketing and everything. And how do you
Adidas as much as it used to be? But I think Nike still Nike. It's just not. It used to be this is Nike. Now it's more like this is Nike. Because
for sure.
When I worked at a shoe store, I worked at New Balance, and they was talking. He used to give the percentages, and he was like, they own so much. If you can just get 3% off of what they have, you're making a few billion. That's how far the gap was, especially when it came to basketball shoes. And because like they would tell me, go down if it's slow, walk down to Nike, see what their traffic is. If their traffic is high, then we need to do something else. But if they slow, then we out there.
Yeah,
and I
think I was reading something that New Balance is still the only major sneaker company that's still manufactured in America. I heard something like that.
Which is the catch to that. It's only for their more expensive ones. Because I remember a couple people used to come in all the time, and I get the boxes. I'll be like, "Hey, bro, most of these shoes are still made with the other ones, like the premium ones. They would still make them like the 992s, 993s. Like some of the ones that I would wear, they would be made here." And they make them in their region, I think they got a spot in Maine, which is why they had to get Cooper Flag, because that's their main base. So it's like they do it, but it's like a little catch to it.
Gotcha.
I was going to say this too. Last thing, I'm looking at this crowd. I hate it. Pick the color and this shit looks ugly, bro. Like. And I get that's like their little official, bro. Pick one color. This shit looks trash, bro.
The Spurs?
Yes, that crowd with all of them colors. That shit looks
I know. I think I know what he's talking about.
Oh my!
Either go black or white, right? That was Miami's thing all those years. When Miami was going to those championships, it was like the whole crowd was like in white, pretty much.
Yeah. But just one color. It's a look to it. When you got all these, everybody might as well just wear what they was gonna wear to the game.
San Antonio's always rocked that South color scheme, even though they wore silver and black as their official uniform.
No. I know that's their color scheme. What I'm saying is because the effect of the crowd is like it's almost like you're making them one. Everybody's wearing the exact same T-shirt.
Right.
They're breaking it up like that. It looks almost like a regular crowd, just uglier.
Gotcha. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, as soon as I hop off.
Well, do the black out or the white out or another color.
Gotcha. Exactly. Coach, take us out. We're way over time. Like I said, I gotta get Tarusa teed up. So, Coach, your last minute close out as you always.
Hey man, listen, man. San Antonio's crowd look like them shoes, man. We were just looking at, man. So salute to that, though. No, but listen, man. I think we're gonna be in for a good series, man. Everybody's starting to get back to that real, I guess, the football sports, the end of hockey. Salute to hockey, man. So it's an interesting time of the year, man. Middle of the summer. I hope everybody get outside, man. Do a little exercise, man. Take care of y'all health, man. And shout out to the new sports athletes that are coming up in age, man. Shout out to them, man. Let them get out there and run some of that baby fat y'all been spoiling them babies with for the last 8 years. Get outside, man. Take them to a merry-go-round and let them bump their head outside on the ground, man. They'll be a little tougher. Salute to y'all, man.
That's cool, school coach. All right, well, again, thanks everybody for coming up. For Tommy, Anton, as always, certainly for you guys who are here, just make sure you hit the like button as you leave the show. But just only go away for a few minutes because, again, I got Tarusa's coming up, and obviously he's hitting a hot topic that I don't know if I want to touch right now, but he's hitting a hot topic as always tonight, so stay tuned for Tarus. But for the whole crew here, thank you for joining us on the One-on-One Sports Show. Take care. God bless. And we will see you next time. Good night.
Be safe.
Be safe. Peace.